feels like the mobile phones we carry in our pockets are lessly becoming ours and more controlled by someone else. For example, if we search something in online or in Google to buy a product, the similar products we can see in the different online platforms like WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and even in YouTube and X. So already we feel like that there is a lack of privacy, and now there is a new rule that every brand new mobile phone or older phones that must be updated later with the Sanchar Saathi app. So what is this app and why it is mandatorily pushed to us? Let's get all the answers. Welcome to Youturn, and this is Nandini Madheshwaran. The government tells us that this app is meant for our safety. It shows us how many SIM cards are registered under single name, and it can block the stolen phones. On the surface, if we see, this app seems to be a helpful idea. But the real concern begins when this helpful idea turns slowly to be a mandatory rule. Sanchar Saathi app needs deep access on our phone. It needs our contact details, it needs our chats, it needs our messages, and even it needs our location and other sensitive data. Normally, an app that asks so much details and so much permissions, we naturally ignore it or install it. But when it becomes compulsory and when the government itself forces to keep the app on our phones, that's where the real discomfort begins. And even the question changes from, is it useful to us, to why the government is pushing this app so much to every Indian citizen. But to clarify this, the Union Telecom Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia said to the press that this cyber security app is not mandatory for users. He said that if you want to keep the app, you can keep it. If you want to register it, you can register it. And if you don't want the app, you can remove it at any time, at anywhere. He also added that it is the government responsibility to make sure that it is available on every Indian citizen's phone, as many citizens are unaware of this tool designed to protect the people from digital fraud and theft. However, it feels like India is also slowly getting into the trend that several other countries have already been following, that some of the government mandatory apps are installed which cannot be removed or disabled. For example, when we take China, the apps like WeChat and other government service apps are deeply connected to identity, location, contacts, payments and travel that you cannot function without them. They are everywhere, always watching people very keenly. Russia's Gososluki app is another example, slowly turning into a compulsory app for all the public services. The UAE and Saudi Arabia also have similar government apps like UAE Pass and Upshare that we cannot avoid but hold huge amount of personal information. These examples show a pattern. The government introduced its app slowly, it seems to be helpful, and finally or eventually it becomes a major tool of control. However, recently, Apple has reportedly told the Indian government that it will not comply the order to preload the Sanchar Saathi app on iPhones sold in India. The company says it does not agree with being forced to install the state-backed apps on the iPhones that is sold in India, because it believes that it can harm the user's privacy and can go against the Apple's global policies. This refusal by Apple adds real example to the worry of many people have could become a tool for surveillance instead of security. If a big global tech company with many security policies like Apple refuse this government mandated app, then it shows how serious the privacy and security concerns really are. Today it checks IMEI number and tomorrow it can do even more. The biggest problem here is the mobile phone will be being stopped as a private device, and it can become something that Union government can enter it anytime it wants. And while people are still trying to overcome the Sanchar Saathi issue, another concern has come up. The Supreme Court is now talking to make the Aadhar verification mandatory to watch some of the online contents. They say it is for safety and to control some of the age restricted contents and to monitor the contents that is against the country or people. But this also means that you may need to use your Aadhar card even for normal internet browsing. This can seriously reduce our online freedom. Aadhar card was never created for tracking everything we do on the internet. If Aadhar is linked to the online or to the internet, then we stay or we lose the right to stay anonymous. Anything we say online can be traced back to us, and people find it difficult or scared to speak online, and people find it worry even if their single comment or single joke turn to be anti-national. Slowly the open internet turns to be silent and fearful place. Imagine the future if both these systems work together. On one side, the government app is installed that is very mandatory, either you accept it or not, and it is connected with the government identity. Now every time when you open the internet, you surf something or you chat with someone or you interact with people, you are asked to verify using Aadhar. And suddenly every opinion, every move, every thought is attached to our government identity and our phone identity. It creates a perfect chain for someone to identify us or to track us or to hack us very easily. This is how surveillance never arrives loudly. We never say that safety is unimportant. We always wanted the safer internet and smaller online frauds. But safety doesn't come at the cost of freedom. When every solution takes our privacy, and when every rule demands our identity, and when every regulation increases the monitoring, then something worse is happening behind the scenes. It is no longer about protecting citizens. It is all about controlling our future. We deserve a future where technology protects us without spying us, where mobile phones were being our personal devices and not the tool for monitoring and controlling. If we don't question these things today, we may wake one day in a country where everything is monitored and nothing is truly free. And that is not the future any of us want. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.